Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to cut through all the noise and, well, pull out the real gems of knowledge for you.
Exactly. And today we're zeroing in on personalized wellness.
That's right. Through the work of Jean Popovic and her business, Rise Up Yoga, our mission is to give you a kind of shortcut into her world.
Yeah, it's this really unique blend. She has ancient Ayurvedic wisdom mixed with a very personalized yoga lifestyle.
So we're distilling her journey, her whole philosophy, really, so you can see how this truly individual approach to health can be, well, transformative.
And to do that, we've got some great source material.
We do. We've got an interview with Jean herself, which is fantastic, plus a history of Ayurveda from the Ayurvedic Institute to give us that background.
And her story, it doesn't start where you might expect, like in a yoga studio.
Not at all. It actually starts with her teaching English down in Brazil.
Right, and that's where she stumbled upon capoeira.
Capoeira, the Brazilian martial art, that mix of dance, acrobatics, music. So what was it about that? Why did it click so much?
She used the word embodied. It just made her feel deeply connected to her body, physically present in a way she hadn't really felt before, you know?
Mm-hmm. Powerful. Foundational, it sounds like.
Definitely.
So she has this intense experience in Brazil, then comes back to the U.S. and starts making flutes. That feels like a left turn.
It does seem like a detour, doesn't it? Making flutes, it's intricate work, requires focus, but yeah, very different physically.
So how did that path circle back? Where did the yoga and Ayurveda really come in?
Well, that's when her personal yoga practice started getting serious back in the States. It became more than just the poses. It evolved, crucially, into a full Ayurvedic lifestyle she adopted with her ex-husband.
Okay. So that's the seed. Things like eating for the seasons, understanding body types. That became her personal reality first.
Exactly. And then that personal experience started to bleed into her professional life. She'd been teaching yoga for, about 15 years by then, mostly focused on the physical side.
Right, standard classes. And that's when she hit a wall, wasn't it? She had a realization.
Right. A huge one. A real game changer.
What was it? What did she see that was missing for her clients?
She just noticed they weren't getting lasting results, and she figured out why. It was the one-size-fits-all trap, like the old food pyramid idea.
Right, assuming everyone needs the same thing.
Exactly. And it just doesn't work because we're all different. That insight, that was the moment she really challenged all that standard dietary advice and turned fully towards Ayurveda.
That's a huge leap, from generic to deeply personal. Okay, so let's unpack Ayurveda a bit more. What are the fundamentals for anyone who might be less familiar?
Right. So Ayurveda, it's ancient, like 5,000 years old, from India's Vedic culture. The name itself means the science of life.
Science of life, I like that.
Yeah, and its main focus is prevention, maintaining health, not just chasing symptoms after they appear. It's about balancing your whole life, diet, lifestyle, herbs, truly holistic.
Holistic in the real sense of the word.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the foundation is this idea of 5 elements: space, air, fire, water, and earth. Ayurveda sees everything, including us, made up of these.
Okay. 5 elements.
And they combine in unique ways to form 3 main energies, or doshas: vata, pitta, and kapha.
Vata, pitta, kapha. Got it. So everyone has all 3, but usually one is more dominant. And that shapes, well, everything.
Pretty much. Your energy blueprint, your physical tendencies, even how you react emotionally. It's a massive shift from just general advice to real self-knowledge. And Jean is amazing at making this practical.
Yeah, that's the key, isn't it? How does she actually use this? How do these doshas show up in her clients? Can you give us a sense of how she might work differently with each type?
Definitely. Let's take vata first. That's space and air. It's the energy of movement, breathing, blinking, nerve impulses, all that.
Okay, movement energy.
So when vata is balanced, people tend to be creative, flexible, adaptable, lots of ideas.
But the flip side, when it's out of balance.
That's when you see fear, anxiety, maybe feeling ungrounded, unstable. Physically, Jean often sees them as kind of willowy, light, naturally flexible. But the downside is they can lack stamina, tires easily. Mentally, they might grasp ideas super fast, but then, poof, forget them just as quickly.
Okay, so for a vata client, she'd focus on what? Grounding.
Exactly. Relaxation, grounding practices, maybe some gentle strength building to create more stability, tailoring it to counter that airy quality.
That makes total sense. Okay, what about pitta? Fire and water? Sounds intense.
It is. Pitta governs digestion, metabolism, transformation. Think of it as the body's internal fire. When pitta is balanced, you see understanding, intelligence, sharp focus, drive.
And when that fire rages out of control.
Uh-oh. Yeah, then it can manifest as anger, hatred, jealousy, being overly critical. That fire turns destructive.
Oof. And physically, how does that show up?
Physically, Jean finds they're often quite fiery, maybe athletic, very driven, and this is key, they're prone to issues with actual digestive fire, like indigestion, acid reflux, IBS.
Interesting.
And ironically, because they push themselves so hard, they can burn out. Chronic fatigue is common if they don't manage that intensity.
Wow. So for pitta, it's not just about having the energy, it's about managing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Channeling it so they don't flame out.
Precisely. It's about balance, not just more fire.
Got it. Okay, third one. Kapha.
Yeah.
Earth and water. What's that blueprint like?
Kapha provides structure, lubrication, think bones, muscles, the sort of glue holding cells together. It embodies stability, groundedness.
Stability.
In balance, kapha types are loving, calm, forgiving, very steady people.
And the imbalance for kapha?
It can lean towards attachment, greed, possessiveness, maybe envy, holding on too tight. Physically, Jean often sees a heavier build, very stable. They might be a bit slow to get started, need that initial nudge, but once they're moving, incredible endurance and stamina. Really solid.
That is so different from vata. It really drives home how personalized this needs to be. So in a yoga session, how does Jean tailor the actual movement for these types?
Yeah, it has to be completely different. It's why she often works one-on-one or in very small groups. For vata, knowing they're flexible but maybe anxious, she'll emphasize those grounding poses, maybe longer holds, deep relaxation, and like we said, gentle strength work.
Okay. And kapha, the steady ones who need a nudge.
Right. For them, she'll encourage more dynamic movement. Things like sun salutations to get the energy flowing, build heat, improve flexibility. It's about energizing that stable structure.
Get things moving. And pitta, managing the fire.
Yeah, for pitta types, it's often about slowing down. More mindful movements. She'd be really careful not to push them into intense competitive flows that could just overheat them.
Right.
So definitely not, let's power through 50 sun salutations. More cooling, calming, channeling that energy constructively.
I can see how that prevents the burnout she mentioned.
Yeah.
Okay, but beyond the movement, you said her superpowers was nutrition. How does food connect to the doshas in her work?
Ah, yes, this is where it gets really integrated. That's her real superpower. Take pitta again, that fiery digestion. She might advise cooling foods, especially in hot weather. Think yogurt, cucumber, mint.
Makes sense. Cooling the fire.
And maybe avoiding things that create more acid, like too many tomatoes or really spicy foods, vinegar.
So practical dietary shifts. And you mentioned breakfast for pitta.
Yes. She stresses the importance of breakfast for them, even something simple like oatmeal. The idea is to prevent that acid buildup from an empty stomach, which pittas are prone to. She's seen clients whose IBS symptoms dramatically improved, even disappeared, just from these kinds of dietary adjustments.
Wow, that's a tangible result right there,
Yeah.
just from food choices aligned with your type.
It's incredibly powerful. It really shows how she connects the food, the movement, the energy. It's a complete picture.
Truly holistic, and you said she even works with whole families. That must be complex.
It is, because like we've discussed, everyone's different. You could easily have a vata kid, a pitta parent, a kapha grandparent, all needing different approaches to food, exercise, even sleep.
Right, and it's not static either, is it? She mentioned it's dynamic.
Exactly. Your primary dosha is generally fixed, but how the doshas are balanced within you shifts constantly. With age, teens are often more pitta, older adults might see more vata influence. With the seasons, even with your state of mind day to day.
So it's an ongoing process. Constant tuning, not a one-and-done fix.
Absolutely. It's a journey of awareness and adjustment.
So thinking about her business, Rise Up Yoga, it didn't just spring up fully formed with this complex model, did it? How did it actually evolve?
Oh, definitely not. She started much smaller, back in Maine, just offering standard yoga classes, punch cards, maybe 8 students max. Pretty typical beginnings, focused mainly on the physical practice.
So what prompted the shift? Adding that nutrition piece you mentioned, clients started asking.
Yeah, that was the catalyst. Her students began asking her about diet. Things like mono diets or cleanses and resets. They were clearly looking for something more.
Okay, hold on. Mono diet. What's that in an Ayurvedic context?
A common example is eating khichdi for a few days. It's a simple dish, basically rice and dal lentils cooked with specific spices tailored to your constitution. The idea is to give your digestion a rest, a gentle cleanse, help clear out toxins. It's much kinder than really harsh fasting, which Ayurveda is often cautious about, especially for vata or pitta.
Got it. A gentle, personalized reset. And seeing that interest, that hunger for dietary advice, sparked something for Jean.
It really did. It showed her people needed this integrated guidance.
But putting that into practice must have had its challenges, especially the food side as a small business.
For sure. There was the whole outreach effort, putting herself out there, doing free talks at libraries, health food stores, co-ops, just trying to explain Ayurveda. Yeah, and then logistical things, like she couldn't actually give out food samples at talks because of regulations. She could only show pictures or pass around jars of spices.
That must have been frustrating.
Yeah.
And what about sourcing? Those specific Indian herbs and spices aren't always easy to find, right?
Yeah.
Especially outside big cities.
Absolutely. That was a real hurdle for her students. So she's had to find workarounds like exploring affiliate links with suppliers, places like Carroll Academy or Banyan Botanicals, to make it easier for people to get what they need.
Smart. Adapting to the practicalities. And technology seems to have played a big role in adapting too, especially with cooking.
Huge role. She used to do cooking sessions in people's homes locally, but since COVID, she pivoted. Now she does one-on-one cooking classes over video.
So she can teach anyone, anywhere now.
Exactly. It massively expanded her reach, which is great.
But tech brings its own challenges, right? The admin side of running things.
Oh, yeah. The inevitable admin burden. Writing newsletters, managing schedules, emails, it all takes time. She uses standard tools, embedded calendars, MailChimp, things like that. But she voiced that common wish, for one single streamlined system that could handle everything. Clients, scheduling, emails, reminders, just simpler.
The dream of the all-in-one platform.
Yeah.
Cuts down on juggling different tools. It really speaks to the reality of being a solo practitioner.
Totally.
And her approach, it sounds like it really requires commitment from the client. It's not like a drop-in fitness class.
No, not at all. She said that's a hurdle sometimes, getting new clients who understand it's not a quick fix. It really takes at least 3 sessions for the core ideas to even start sinking in and for them to begin applying things consistently.
It's an investment, a process.
Right. She calls it a concierge-type service.
Yeah.
She gives you the tools, but the toolbox itself is something you're constantly refining together based on your changing needs.
So keeping clients engaged long-term must be crucial. How does she manage that?
Consistency seems key. Sending out new videos, offering ongoing support, framing it as this lifelong journey you're on together. And apparently it works incredibly well. She mentioned clients she's had for 20 years.
20 years? Wow. That is serious loyalty. It says a lot about the value people find in this approach.
It really does.
Yeah.
But she's also realistic about barriers, like technology adoption, particularly for some older clients.
Right. Not everyone's jumping onto Zoom for a cooking class or using online schedulers.
Exactly. So she adapts. For local clients who aren't comfortable with the tech, she still does house calls. Meeting people where they are, that's real dedication.
That really is personalized service. So reflecting on her whole journey, all this experience, what's her core advice for someone thinking about going down a similar path in wellness?
It was pretty clear. Twofold advice. First, get good training. Seriously, find a reputable school, learn the foundations properly, don't just wing it.
Solid advice. And second,
If you possibly can, go to India. Immerse yourself in the culture where Ayurveda originated.
experience it at the source.
Yeah. She talked about how her own travels, like living in the Amazon where processed packaged food just wasn't an option, totally shifted her perspective on American eating habits.
How so?
It challenged that assumption that more choice, more abundance automatically equals better health. It made her question a lot.
That's a deep insight. Perspective is everything. And she has a direct challenge for anyone listening to, doesn't she?
She does. It's pretty direct. She says, give it a whole try. Don't just do something for a month. Do it for 3 months. Challenge yourself. Commit to it. See what happens.
A 3-month challenge. Commit and see.
I like
that. Okay, so let's wrap this up. What's the big takeaway from Jean Popovic's story for you listening right now?
I think for me, it really hammers home that we aren't static. Our bodies are needs. They're always in flux.
Totally agree. Your unique constitution, your age, the seasons, your stress levels, they all impact what balance means for you at any given moment. It needs that constant, gentle tuning. Which brings us to the big question, really. How might things shift for you if you started truly listening to those subtle signals from your own body instead of just latching on to the latest generic health trend or rigid plan?
Yeah. What if you moved away from that one-size-fits-all mentality and started moving towards yourself, understanding your own unique needs? Could that unlock a deeper, more personalized kind of well-being? A different kind of harmony.
Definitely something to think about. A really provocative thought to end on. If you want to explore Jean Popovic's work further, you can find her online at Rise Up Yoga Life.
And she's also connected with the Vita Ayurvedic Clinic, so lots of ways to learn more.